All right, guys. We just got done interviewing the sports rabbi. So if you, I think we're going to split the episodes, but check that out. We just beat the Israel select team 107-71. So we're 2 games in. I put it in the sports rabbi one, too. 2 out of 3 games to win an Israeli national championship. The next one's going to be a lot harder than this one. And I'll say it again because we just got done talking to him for a while. But Sports Rabbi talks about some of the context of how good these teams are and different things. And we're really going to be in for it on Monday with a good team that's really going to test us. And he's very confident that that team is very good and we're going to have our hands full and that these last 2 teams are not as good. And he has some interesting context on like where Leo Berman would be on those teams that I think is a big gem on the context of the team. So check that out. We're going to split the episodes. But another win. It was fun. This time it felt like a real basketball game that we learned from, and the players had to play like similar to what they're going to have to play in college. And Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a real basketball game. The defense carried the day. Jay Billis is usually on point, and he asked Bruce after the game, is it fair to say that your defense and offensive rebounding are the 2 best parts of your team? And Bruce said, yeah. Yeah, I think those are our 2 best things, which that fits the DNA and the culture of what this program's all about. We said it after the first game. It was impressive that they had the kind of effort they did in a blowout. This game, it got a little dicey. I think they went down 5-ish points, maybe halfway through the second quarter. And they really bounced back and had some of those patented Auburn runs. And Zepp had some huge plays. Chance had some huge plays. KD had some huge plays, and all defensively. And I think you really saw the buy-in is there. A lot of the same things we saw the other day, but against better competition. And I think ultimately Auburn's depth, just playing those 12 guys, was a little too much for that group of grown men, good basketball players, but they didn't have quite as many as we did.
Two games in a row, the last quarter was kind of brutal. The first 3 periods or quarters or whatever they want to call it for the international ball, it was like legit basketball. Felt like I was watching a basketball game that we could see in out of conference or something this year. Maybe a pretty weak out of conference team, but we could see that team. By the 4th, though, it was getting a little out of hand. We were just kind of running past them up and down the court, and a couple guys are getting some real easy scores. But I got the scores over here at least. We couldn't get a box score. But man, Johan and Jonai still leading the team here. Chance also, I guess this is in order, but it was Johan with 20 points, Jonai with 18, Chance with 18, KD with 15, and Dylan with 5. I bet you there's somebody else with some more points in there, but they put Dylan. And man, these newcomers, they're legit. It's super fun to watch. And last game, they just bullied people, and we saw a lot of bullying, and it was kind of hard to tell what's going on. Johan came out and hit a lot of great shots, looked super smooth out there. Chance the same, hitting a lot of shots. We even saw Jonai have a couple of center down there moves that were really good. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them actually hit some stuff that looked like legit basketball, and they did.
Yeah, we saw it. I think that's the big thing, right? We've had so much hand-wringing about the current team and should they have gotten different guys or more guys or better guys. And now we're sitting here with 12 scholarship players plus Leor. So really 13. And it just looks like a really good group of talent. Broom looks like the real deal. That experience just shows through. You were kind of doubting his post game and some of his moves. And man, he had some beautiful jump hooks, great shot blocking, energy, had a great steal and run out and dunk, had a great finish on a dunk from Wendell. Like, you saw that. We're going to gush about Chance Westry this entire season, and I can't wait. He's a great player. He's kind of come in. I still don't really understand why he didn't get more attention, because his size, his length, his athleticism, he's willing to play defense first, which is a great fit for us. He's fantastic. Trey Donaldson started at point guard. Did a really nice job. I thought he looked very comfortable, very confident out there. Even if this competition wasn't great for a guy who's just coming in his first action, I think that's awesome. And then Johan, Johan, you're right. Today, he scored the first 7 or 9 points of the game, something like that. Kind of didn't get the ball for a while, and then he kind of came back towards the end. But to have back-to-back 20-point games, and today you really saw the jump shot. You saw the versatility, man. Getting him the ball 10 feet away, he can elevate over people, he can shoot, he can get to the basket, he can finish in traffic. Just a really good player.
Coast to coast at one point, even though he definitely carried the ball like 3 times in that, but no one called it. But it was great to see him make a big defensive play and then grab the ball and go all the way down the court and score. His jump shots were really smooth. Chance, man, though, still like it's like he's the only reason Johan's not getting even more praise is because Chance is overshadowing him a bit. And Johan had his big moments right at the beginning, but Chance is still playing point guard. It looks so smooth. And Wendell was getting harassed at times by their defenders on the other team. And like he didn't turn the ball over or anything, but he also wasn't making plays or making them pay for it. They weren't doing that at all with Chance. And if they did, he made them pay. And he was hitting great shots, hit some open threes, made some great passes, and then had 7 steals. I think he went back-to-back possessions, right? Like picking the dude's pocket on the other team and just going straight up and dunking it. It was, and I think another one, maybe he did that and they made a great pass off of it. He is just more than I could have expected. And everybody's like, oh, like, especially Matt was like, oh, watch out, this guy's going to be good. Did you think he was going to be like this though?
Just watch him play. I mean, that's what you got to do. I'm not Jay Phillips out here, but I did watch some of his stuff, and you can't coach that size and athleticism. It's just a special combination. And just think about it. You're going to have a guy, and I don't know if you want to share your hot take about the point guard position.
Yeah. Oh, I do right now. Chance Westry is coming for the starting point guard position. You can already see it. He's just so much more calm and smooth with it right now and so much more dangerous with it. I just think they'll start playing Wendell at the 2 or whatever they need to do, but Chance is just too good. He's gonna push him out of the way.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen at all. I really think I don't see it at all. But
why is he doing it now then? Why are they playing him as point guard so much right now?
He's gonna be the backup point guard.
He's gonna be okay. I just think he's gonna play so well you can't keep him off the floor.
Well, I think he's gonna start at the 2-3.
Okay, and then he's back up after that.
Yes, and then you slide him over, and that's what I was thinking about. You remember a couple of years ago when Alan Flanagan had to play point guard, and it just didn't fit his skill set great. He did it out of a team need and did okay, but and Chance is a similar build player, maybe even a little taller almost, it feels like, maybe not. But how nice is it to have a guy who you can literally put at any of those 1-3 spots on the team, and you just feel so comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. The only downside to what we did with Jabari last year was that he was kind of stuck in our offense in that unique power forward position, and it limited Jalen Williams minutes, and it kind of limited Jabari because it was worth it for him, obviously, but for the team, he couldn't necessarily slide up or down like we thought maybe he would. Chance will, and I think it's a huge thing for him. Like if Wendell gets hurt, yeah, you might have your starting point guard, but I think the minutes are going to play out the way they're going to get Chance on the floor as much as they can. And it seems like they're really getting him ready to back Wendell up at point because they've moved Zepp. Zepp's playing too. Zepp's not playing point guard right now.
The thing I could see, I guess, for your argument of him not being the starting point guard is that the 3 positions still struggling a bit with Flanagan. Yep. I don't think he had a very good game at all. And I could see them being like, all right, well, he can play one of the 3. We're fine at point guard. We're fine at 2. We're not fine at 3. He's going to play 3 just because of that reason. But I think we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Do you want Wendell playing 10 minutes a game?
10 even minutes. I'll play more than 10 minutes a game for sure.
Where?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's my point. Chance is going to play 25, 30 minutes a game. Like he just is. He's that good. And so I think it behooves the staff with this roster. He's going to get some point guard minutes for sure. And anytime Wendell gets in foul trouble or is hurt, there you go. You got your move. But like in the meantime, they're going to want Wendell on the floor because he's an important part of this team. And they're going to want Chance on the floor. And the best way to do that and be able to weasel their way around is to use Chance's versatility. That's why I don't think he'll start. Having said that, I know it's only 2 games. We'll see how he does tomorrow. But man, you're right. Just so impressive how easy things look for him. It really is amazing.
So what's the starting lineup in your head right now?
I don't know. I think it's going to be Wendell at point. I think it's going to be Wendell. I think it's going to be. I don't know. You're right. It gets complicated because is Chance going to start over KD? Possible. Is he going to start over Flanagan? Possible.
I think you got to do it. I got burnt so bad last year with Flanagan. I might have a bad backlash the other way, but I'm seeing like a Wendell, either KD or Zepp. Chance, Johan, Cardwell.
Because
Not
you're
Cardwell,
really,
sorry, Broom.
we'll see Johan Jalen. We'll see.
Well, Jalen was super quiet this game too. Like he came around in the fourth quarter when things were just like not really a game anymore, but he was so quiet. Like he's so much more physically dominant than these last two teams we played. He should have just been picking stuff up from that at the very least. He did hit a three, but like he can't be this quiet right now in his senior season, especially with some younger guys. Like he should be out there alpha male, like taking over these games, and he's not doing it all.
You want him to do what Flanagan's doing right now?
No, you're right about that. Flanagan is doing, that's the whole
Look,
thing with Flanagan right now is he's doing too much. He
It-
wants to be a leader. He wants to be the guy, and it's just not happening right now.
the big concern, I think, and I think this is fair, and I don't want us to overreact to things. This is a pretty meaningless sample size that we're looking at, but isn't one of the big fears this year that Flanagan came back? He's healthy. Obviously, the coaches, Allen, we want him to play like he did 2 or 3 years ago and get drafted, like and or at least go, have whatever career he's going to have. But there could be a point when we look up 10 games into this season where the opportunity to get there is not what's best for the team. And I think that is going to be a really interesting storyline to follow. I hope he has shown flashes. I do think he's hit a couple really nice shots, but it still just feels like he's struggling to finish around the rim at times. I do think he's been a really good distributor off the drive passing. I think that's looked really good. Defensively, everybody's been playing fairly well. So he is a good versatile defender, but yeah, just that's something to track for sure.
I like also have this like PTSD of him taking so many charges last year and he's taking bad fouls too that like are just really odd, like frustration fouls almost. But even the other one tonight, he like just 2 games in a row, really, he's done some plays like that will be a charge in the SEC. You can't do that. How do you still doing that 4 years in? There was like one where he just went straight into the Israeli guy and the guy just gave way in the SEC. That guy's gonna be a little faster and a little bigger and he's not gonna take that. It's gonna be a charge. And it's just like you see a couple of little like flashes like that. Like Wendell took a couple of threes I didn't like that I was like, oh, like let's start fixing this now because like it's not gonna burn us in these games, but it will against Tennessee or Kentucky or whoever,
Well, again, we got to keep in mind we're 3 months from basketball season, so I don't think we need to freak out yet. But today's game and tomorrow's game, I think, will give us these glimpses. I think it's so valuable in addition to all the other stuff that's been going on as part of this trip and the exposure and having ESPN here with us, and like kind of establishing like when Auburn does something like this, cool, like it's important. John Rothstein's tweeting about Auburn basketball today. Like it matters. But we get these little glimpses. And I thought one of the best glimpses, KD goes down gets his ankle stepped on a little bit. And after there was a 5-minute stretch there where he literally tackled somebody out of bounds and somehow got the call. And then he was doing his whole thing and then he got hurt. Oh. And I said he would be fine, and he was. And but man, he had a stretch though where he really showed off. When he's hitting his outside shot, in addition to everything else, and he's aggressive and under control somewhat going to the basket. He is a dangerous dude. We got some great faces already for memes. I saw they were starting to circulate.
He's his own man. It is just like I'm a guy that likes to enjoy himself out there when I play my different sports or do different stuff. But this dude has like he has really embraced the like monster from within or whatever. And it's clearly one of those dudes that doesn't matter what game or where they're at or what they're doing. He's going to go so hard. And today was just another level. It felt like you said, he was just ping ponging around. I was just like, what is in his head right now? Why is he going so hard? He got injured, of course, because he was just going so hard. But I will give him that those threes he hit, and those moments he had back-to-back threes, and they were good threes. They were open threes. They were like off the pass. They weren't doing his like staring at the guy and then dribbling, then shooting kind of stuff. Like that's what we need from KD. If he's doing that, then I'm just super excited,
And he's getting steals, and he had a couple really unselfish passes in there to get other guys buckets. Like that's the stuff that makes him so unique. We saw KD win us a couple games almost single-handedly last year. And even I do think he kind of turned that notch a little bit when we were down in the second quarter. I think he was one of those guys. It's like, all right, I got this. I'm going to them.
I can't believe they've got them. I mean, we're trying to take this Israel game seriously, and we're excited and we're enjoying it. We just got done interviewing a rabbi in Israel. That's how excited we are, But he was on another level today. Like, even like compared to a lot of our out of conference games and stuff, he wasn't on this level. So I don't know what got his he got baptized and now he's come out even better. He's gone Super Saiyan 3 now.
Did he?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if KD did. I feel like I'm not going to say too much, but I feel like KD is a little less into some of the different aspects of this trip than everybody else is.
Well, and I just want to be clear: not everyone got baptized in the Jordan River. There were a few people that did. Not to go there because I know that's going to be a popular.
I love that it's a touchy subject online, so we won't go there. But enjoy all the online takes, guys.
The other two guys, great to see Zep doing his thing. And Cardwell were the two that I just wanted to mention before I think we need to crown a worthy MVP here in a minute over these two games and today. But Zep, I think I mentioned this last time. Is Zep taller?
He does. He looks different. I don't know what it is.
Taller, and he's playing two guard pretty much exclusively, the 2-3. And he's still that on-ball defender that's aggressive. I really like, and it seems like maybe not, but it seems like he's going to be off the bench this year instead of in that starting point guard role like he was to start last year. And then Cardwell, everybody's just gushing about Cardwell and how much better he looks, and everybody who sees this team or hears inside info from this team talks about that, and you really see it. He just looks so comfortable on both ends, a little more trim, a little more athletic, just more experience. And man, him and Broom, it's not Walker, and what Walker did will always be special. But man, I'm excited about the potential of those two.
We're gonna have some Bash Brothers style stuff here. It was Walker Kessler with backup Cardwell last year. This year, it feels like it's gonna be a little more like Bash Brothers. As soon as one's out, another one's in, and you're gonna get blocked all over the place. And Cardwell had a great drive at one point that he finished, like dribble drive that was super cool. That at first second I thought it was Johan, and it was actually Cardwell, and I was really excited by that. I think Broom had some really good finishes. Broom also, we're bragging on Cardwell, but we knew Broom had something special with blocking and stuff. He really does seem to have just the right amount of fingertips onto these balls and can kind of go over a guy. I was afraid Kessler had this amazing ability to block people because his arms are so long and he was 7 foot plus that even if people got past him, he could still get over them, get the block without committing the foul. And Joe Nye seems to be able to do something similar too. And maybe it's the kind of opponents we're playing. So hopefully he can keep doing that. But it's a gift, and he's been great. He's been awesome to watch.
Just excited to have a guy offensively. Even Kessler struggled with this at times, right? Just the inside offense and the tough twos. And Kessler definitely had his moments, but you know what I mean? It didn't feel like his thing. His thing was his defense and his versatility on that end. Broom, you can throw the ball into Denied.
He wants it down there a little more, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he's done it. And he's had years of experience building it. Granted, it's lesser competition, but he's a grown man. He's ready. I just really like all the new guys. I know it's new players, and that's probably where our eyes gravitate to, but doesn't it feel like those are the guys that are just standing out? And
you look at the stat sheet, and I don't think you can argue that it's just the new guys or whatever. They're the ones that are leading right now. And like I said, I think Jalen was really quiet. Flanagan really struggled. Chris Moore really struggled. Both Chris Moore and Alpha are trying to do too much, honestly. And it's
Chris Moore didn't try to do anything in this game.
I thought he was trying to do a little too much to start the game. I think he got blocked once or twice.
But look, if you're on the floor, you gotta
he's got to do what he gotta do. They both got to try. You're right. But
especially in these games,
Zep was fine, a little quiet. I didn't think I had any problem with Zep's game. It was just he wasn't leading the way with big time plays or anything. But
that's the great thing about Zep, though, because
it's always been his thing.
You really don't run anything. He's going to get 2 to 3 to 4 open threes a game, and he needs to hit some of them. And then if he can do his thing outside of that, that we proved last year that he plays winning basketball. It helps.
It'll be interesting to see how the games keep going. Johan, I think 2 games in a row now, has quietly had the most points, and it was wow, I did not expect it necessarily. He just keeps chugging away and getting them. And I guess he had that big 9-point start to the game. So I feel like it's between Johan and Chance again, which is great and amazing. You think it's Johan?
I do, I think it's partially maybe a 2-game MVP in some ways, but he did. I think we talked in the first game about Chance and how I think the reason we landed on him was just the way he was getting those shots and how it looked. Well, Johan today was hitting the outside shot, hitting the mid range, attacking inside, getting rebounds, like finishing close to the basket, blocking shots. You saw the whole arsenal, I felt like today more. And I just feel you really, I think it's a great way to watch these games, like what translates to what we'll see in a few months. I thought Johan's game today, really, to me, more than the first game against way undersized competition. I thought today you could see what made him such a high level prospect.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I think Johan and Chance are like 50-50 in this game. I think Chance had his big moments where he picked the pocket twice with these guys and also had some really big, and he played point guard, which is so huge to me after we've seen years where we've struggled with it. And it's just really impressive to me that he's so smooth with it. But I'm cool with it. Johan, the yarmulke for Israel has been crowned on here.
So
MVP.
we got to get one more game. We're playing for the Israeli national championship tomorrow at lunchtime.
Another interesting tidbit. We were talking about Cardwell just a minute ago and how well he's been playing. Got to listen to the Rabbi episode again. I'm hoping that episode is a little more like you could listen to that for the next couple of weeks. You don't necessarily have to listen to it like today to like feel good about it, like you do the post game sometimes. But they talk about Cardwell, like Lior Berman apparently is getting a lot of love from professional Israeli teams that might be, on one in the next year or two. Cardwell too, for some reason. Those two guys, our rabbi friend has mentioned that they like the scouts and the agents and different people are very interested in those two guys. I think that would be something interesting to watch. So check that out.
Yeah, check out our stuff. So I think let's get into this. And this is about all I have. It was fun to watch our team. They battled through some adversity. They played really good defensively. They forced 30 turnovers, I think was the number, which is crazy. I think we won points off turnovers 40 something to 30.
You wonder if part of that is that this Israel select team is like not a real team. They're like it's like an all-star team that I don't even know if they practiced together or what they did,
Yeah, and that's a huge part of it. We got to definitely underplay. So, but now we're entering this game tomorrow, which is like the national team. Now, granted, I think there's some players hurt and there's some players that maybe aren't ready to play right now. They're getting ready for a huge tournament. Again, listen to this other episode that we'll be putting up. We talk some about that.
We get a lot of context. That's deep.
Is it wrong?
Context.
Is it wrong of me that I'm feeling a little disrespected as not like we can't go play with the Israeli national team?
Oh, a lot of guys got to listen to the episode because our rabbi friend is very confident that we are not going to play well tomorrow against the national team. And we'll see. I think we might have, they just got together in practice, it sounds like. I mean, I think they've played together a decent amount of, but there is an NBA guy on there. They're all professionals and older and real men. And if you think about it, the NBA guy's a power forward. And if Johan, a dude straight out of high school, is having to go up against a real NBA guy, we'll see if he's looking quite as good. But I think we're a real team and we have real strategy and we have like a real culture and personality,
And let's be honest, the game is going to matter a lot more to us.
Well, so it goes back and forth because from what I can tell, there's still guys trying to make the national team. And so you might have some guys really trying hard to make the national team that might be a big deal. But that almost makes it worse, honestly. They're going to have a lot of guys. They're really going to see it as exhibition. And we do too, to an extent. We're not going to play like just the starting guys. It's not gonna be March Madness style. Like today we started with all our backups, like Stretch was starting to start this game. But I think we're gonna take it a little more seriously tomorrow. We're gonna have way more team chemistry, I believe. We're not gonna have anybody on this team other than maybe like Flanagan and Chris Moore, honestly, that are like, I gotta get my place on the team. And like, so we'll see. I think we could get him a little bit, harass him a little bit and turn him over a little bit.
You gotta keep Chris Moore's name out of your mouth. He literally went to the basket like one time the entire game and tried to finish. You're right, and I think here's another piece from our interview. We need to stop talking about the interview so people actually go listen to it.
It's a lot.
But he said about maybe 3,000 to 5,000 people there. So as a just player, all of a sudden, instead of a few hundred people like these first couple of games, you're gonna have a bigger crowd probably. Hopefully everything goes, as planned with everything going on over there. And I just think our guys relish that kind of thing. And I do think there's probably an argument to be made that Bruce might want us to like lose this game just as kind of a learning thing. But I also think Bruce, Bruce is as competitive as anybody. And I just feel like you're right. We're not going to go crazy with our lineups or anything. But if we play defense like we have these first 2 games and force turnovers and get out and run, I'm just saying, if you had a big concern, and I meant to mention this, our 3-point shooting hasn't been good the first 2 games against bad competition. And I think that's something we've got to track given last year what happened, outside of Jabari Smith, just not consistent enough from outside the arc. And we'll see how this team of professional grown men defends us. And I'm just excited. It'll be a fun game to watch. And then we have to go 3 months without basketball. So enjoy the lunch break tomorrow.
Yeah, but schedule your if you're listening to this on Sunday night or Monday morning, make sure you put some like scheduling on your calendar. Say you're at lunch for 2 hours or whatever. It's what we get. It's gonna be fun, and it'll be interesting to see the grown men and to briefly touch on the like security situation. I joked on Twitter that we're all going to turn into geopolitical experts or whatever, but Juventus, a big soccer team, canceled their friendly in Tel Aviv, and we had a great context on that by the rabbi later in the podcast about why they did and how that's slightly different than our situation and different things. But just keep an eye out to see, how the situation's going. Really happy that we got to play today. Like, I think some people aren't realizing how lucky we are to have gotten to play today, that things can get worse or can get a little more shaky. And so the fact that we got this in was awesome. Cross your fingers again that we get more basketball, and it seems like things are going pretty well. And we've heard from some of the people with the team that things are safe and they're good to go. But as the game is going on and right before or right after, there's sirens going off in Tel Aviv. So it's not super simple.
Yeah. And I guess they probably come home the next day. So, hopefully they can get through the game
There's
tomorrow.
talk of, if the airport's going to be shut down or this or that. We'll see how things go. Just keep an eye out a bit. Go on whatever website you go on to get your news.
Jackson will tell you to keep an eye out. What are you going to do, listener in the South?
I'm just saying, if you want to know what's going on, if you want to know if we're going to play tomorrow or not,
No, yeah, definitely keep up with it.
And our rabbi guy gave us some good places to follow and different things. If you're like me and just interested in all the things going on with it, he gave us some good follows to like let us know these things. So just if you're going to plan out a lunch with your friends or something and wherever you're at to watch the game, and you wake up in the morning to see some news reports and stuff, and you want to know, like, is this going to happen or not? He gave some decent context on that. So
yeah, so be ready. I guess we'll probably do an episode maybe tomorrow night.
Probably.
Assuming the game happens and everything. Till then, listen to the episode if you'd like. That we'll post them separately, and then we'll check in every few weeks probably after this. Between now and the beginning of the season, definitely we'll have some preseason stuff. It's been fun.
My mind will keep working, and we'll see if we can get any more interesting interviews. Maybe it's easier to get people sometimes, but in these really lull moments, and then when the season kicks back off again, it's going to be tough to get a hold of certain people. So if we can get some of those interviews, we will.
Yep. Well, I guess to wrap up, I just really like the pieces of this team. It's cool to see, I always keep a list in my phone of a potential depth chart of the Auburn basketball team. That's one thing I do. And it's cool to see it on the floor, even in this not real game setting, just to see how these pieces are going to work together. I think it gives us some good content to talk about, as we do get into preseason stuff and as this team tries to defend its SEC title.
All right. War Eagle, everybody.
War Eagle.